At its most recent meeting, the Metro Council refused to pass a millage proposal brought by the East Baton Rouge Parish Library because Mayor President Sid Edwards proposed a resolution that would move the library's funds into the general fund for the city parish. This would include all future funding for the next 10 years, as well as all dedicated funds the voters previously approved for library operations and capital projects. Library board members and staff were not included in the discussions that produced this proposal. Prophetic Voices opposes the Mayor President's resolution. To be clear, we do not oppose raising police officer salaries and benefits, nor do we oppose adding new police officers to our streets. But we strongly oppose doing so by depriving the library board of the dedicated taxes that East Baton Rouge Parish citizens have agreed to pay every decade since 1995. This proposed tax is a renewal at a reduced rate. The requested millage rate of 10.5 mils is lower than the 11.1 mils approved by the voters in 1995, 2005, and 2015. After careful consideration, library leadership concluded that they could operate at the 10.5 mil rate, including factoring in rollbacks every 4 years. Like most East Baton Rouge government agencies, BRPD's budget was cut this year by about $9 million, largely due to lost sales tax revenue that was transferred to St. George. But that's not the fault of the library. Neither is it the library's fault that BRPD has struggled for years to fill vacancies because of lower pay than other law enforcement agencies in the area. Thus, it should not be left to the library system or any other dedicated tax receivers to cover the shortfall. There are dedicated taxes for the Capital Area Transit System, the Council on Aging, and the Baton Rouge Recreation Commission. At some point in recent years, it has been proposed that EBR take money from those agencies to cover expenses in other areas. To this point, all these efforts have failed. This effort directed at the library board should fail also, and quickly. It is miscalculation to ask that the entire parish vote on a matter that concerns the Baton Rouge Police Department salaries, while Baton Rouge citizens do not vote for Baker, Zachary, Central, or St. George employee salaries. It is hubris for the Mayor President and the Metro Council to assume that they know better how to spend tax revenue than the entity itself. It is double hubris to make such an assumption without bothering to communicate with the agency from which you are taking money. Indeed, the need to raid these dedicated funds to balance the parish's books is proof that the Metro Council does not know how to adequately manage itself. It is hubris for the Metro Council to hold protracted public hearings, as they did on Wednesday evening, and ignore the pleas from the community to accept the library proposal and place the tax renewal on the ballot. When a community decides to tax itself for specific agencies, it is incumbent on the taxing authority to collect and distribute the monies according to the wishes of the taxpayer and not in any other way absent the will of the voters. Too often, government looks at pools of money and tries to redirect the dollars according to their priorities over the will of the people. If the library tax is brought under the authority of the general fund of EBR, it sets a dangerous precedent about all the other dedicated millages. Back in November, District Attorney Hiller Moore announced his intention to propose a millage to meet the expenses of his office. It's the appropriate way to address the need for additional revenue. Should the parish support such a measure, then the taxes raised from it should go 100% to the DA's office. The same should be true about CATS and Council on Aging and BREC and the library. We urge the Metro Council to approve the library request and seek collaborative ways to pay for police and other community services.